Famus AAA.
Famus AAA.
Make sure you're loud and clear.
That's famous 3 times. AAA.
Every day I meditate, minding my business option. Self aware in the sane asylum. AAA. Welcome back, family. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Throw that straight right down the pipe. Smash that like button. Jab it, uppercut, right hook. You know, whatever you want to do it. Just keep it boxing over here. So we got some interesting things going on in the world of boxing. And we got the youngest world champion versus the long reigning champion in the works, according to Bill Haney, the father of Devin Haney. You know, and Bill Haney questions and wants to know, what kind of dog is Gary Russell Jr.? Is it all bark and no bite? Does Gary Russell Jr. have what it takes to get past the reach, the length that the young, athletic Devin Haney? Is he fast enough? We're gonna see, hopefully. Both fighters, you know, have been ducked by the champions in their divisions. When either Gary or Devin name is called, you already know what happens. Fighters either saying they want to fight them last. You could show up to a training camp and, you know, you could show up and put your arms around a certain part of his father. And, you know, the results are still the same. You still get ducked. So in boxing has become the diva sport. But these are two guys that's trying to pave the way. Both guys being ducked, both guys champions. Like I said, the youngest world champion versus the longest reigning champion. And, you know, let's just talk about fight styles and what it comes to it. So, Gary Russell Jr. Gary Russell Jr. is a southpaw, you know, 126 pounder, but looking for smoke with a lot of people, and very fast hands, very fast feet, good boxing IQ, a lot of power, devastating knockout puncher, faced Russel Lomachenko. You know, that was a fight where he claimed he was dehydrated, he lost, and like he explained, if he would have got that knockdown versus Russel Lomachenko, the fight possibly could have been a draw, you know? His only loss, Russel Lomachenko has yet to respond or, you know, even think of mentioning Gary Russell Jr.'s name, but that's the biggest fight Gary Russell Jr. had up to date. If Devin Haney faces Gary Russell Jr., then this will be his biggest task up to date. You know, the biggest step up fight in his career. So, Devin Haney, WBC champ, called out Teofimo Lopez, called out Ryan Garcia, showed up in the ring, got in his face, and his name was mentioned last. And you know how that goes. But Devin Haney, orthodox, tall, lengthy, got jabs, got a lot of athleticism, right hands, left hooks. He's like the complete fighter if you look at Devin Haney, if you ask me. Real complete fighter. You know, Gary Russell has no problem moving up to 135 pounds. I'm not going to get into the business aspect, but just both styles together, we're going to see if Gary Russell Jr. can get past the reach of Devin Haney. Devin Haney, tall. I don't have no stats or anything in front of me. This is all off the dome right now. But Devin Haney in a matchup against Gary Russell Jr. So Devin Haney, let's just say if they was to fight, you know, it's probably about 6-inch height and maybe about, let's just say 8-inch reach. I'm just saying, I have no stats in front of me. I'm guessing. So Devin Haney will particularly use the jab. You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney has a good stiff jab. And Gary Russell Jr., is known for getting around the jab. Gary Russell Jr. is known for being fast, picking his spots, letting off combination punches. Devin Haney is very slick in the pocket, very agile, can punch going back, going forward, could pick his spots. If he's on the ropes, he can catch and shoot. He could dish and give out. He can move clockwise, counterclockwise. Like I said, move lateral. He got it all. He got good defense. After every fight, he's barely touched. Gary Russell Jr. the same. Fast hands, fast feet. Very athletic, very agile, very spontaneous. Machine gun-like combinations. Like I said, high IQ, very strong. I don't think Gary Russell has ever been knocked down. And these are just step-up fights for both guys. Style comparison, I would pick Devin Haney. I think Devin Haney is just, the bigger guy with the better skills. And Gary Russell is just a smaller guy with absolutely great skills, but he said he's known for fucking up big guys. So we're going to see. Hopefully we'll get to see that. If Devin Haney and Gary Russell Jr. make it official. Once they make it official, how they're going to make it official, I don't know. But we're going to see who's really going to walk the walk and talk since they talk the talk. We really going to see who's going to walk the walk if this fight does come into play. I'm picking Devin Haney just because I feel like Devin Haney has what it takes to beat somebody like Gary Russell. And it's mostly off size, but I could be completely wrong. The fight could turn around just totally different. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't want smoke with Gary Russell and Devin Haney for a reason. Both guys are ducked blatantly, and guys will tell you, they don't want to fight them, or if they get face to face with them, the temperature is always different. It was hot, but now it's very different. Y'all let me know what y'all think, who y'all got, what attributes this fighter possesses over this fighter. And we're going to see who comes out victorious. Everything is still a sport. So where's my sportsmanship award? And just like that, Famus is